Hello and welcome to Winchester Now. I'm Mary Blacksland. On today's programme, how the power of music is changing the lives of people with dementia, the volunteers helping to cut crime in Winchester, and a new festival comes to the city this weekend, plus our regular news roundup and shout-outs. Winchester Radio. First in our programme today, the story of a group that's making a big difference to people with dementia. Singing for the Brain started at Brendan Care in Otterbourne at the end of last year. It's proved so popular, organisers are now looking to expand the scheme. I went along to find out more. It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. Singing out loud, shaking instruments and waving their arms, there's even some dancing too. Singing for the Brain brings together people affected by dementia to sing a variety of songs and have fun. It's led today by Susie Mills and volunteer Anne.
Hello, I'm Susie Mills. I'm a carer by day, have been a carer for over 30 years now. I often go into people's houses and I always notice that they respond a lot to music, even when they've forgotten everything else in their daily life. You put a song on for them and the memories instantly come back. It just gets my little heart going and it's something very special for them. Obviously when Home Instead asked me to get involved with this, I jumped at the chance. So.
And what sort of music will they be singing today?
We sing everything. We sing London songs, we sing 50s and 60s songs, we sing... Oh, sometimes I just throw it out and say, what do you want to sing?
Research shows music can have a dramatic effect for someone with dementia. It can lower blood pressure, relieve anxiety and agitation. It can unlock memories, help them express their feelings and provide a break from routine. And while words are sometimes forgotten, lyrics from yesteryear come to mind. Why do you like to come here?
Because of the social aspects. It's very good for people like me with Parkinson's and dementia. Doing singing and playing instruments very badly is very good.
What's it like when you're singing? What does it feel like when you're singing?
Well, it feels quite exhilarating, actually.
John had a stroke in 2017, which left him with dementia and Parkinson's. But really enjoys coming here. It makes him smile and he joins in and really enjoys it. And I don't mind bringing him. I can't sing for toffee, but I do join in and enjoy it. It's an outing for both of us.
And they say singing brings back memories. Does it bring back memories for him?
Well, he always remembers all the words and sings them. So it's really good.
I enjoy the songs. Yeah, because they're songs you know. We enjoy the songs we sing, don't we?
We do indeed.
Does singing make you happy?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Particularly if I've got it all in my head. And I mean, I've sung in St. Petersburg in Russia and in Coventry where there was terrific damage to the church after then. See, all the stuff that you made me bring out, I don't know how, I don't know what, but it's as true as I know anyway. I am flying like a bird across the
sky. This session is a joint initiative between care company Home Instead and Brendan Care.
Right, my name is Vilma Patrizio. I'm the Community Hub's Development Manager at Brendan Care Otterbourne Hill Community Hub. Music brings lots of emotions, lots of triggers. Some not too good, so we sort of deal with those at the time. Sometimes happy tears, sometimes sad tears, because songs mean a lot to people emotionally. Hopefully we're touching lives, we're touching people, and hopefully we'll make a difference to the spouse as well, who's, it can be hard looking after somebody, can't it? And we couldn't forget about the spouse as well, who going through a lot of emotions. To be with you, who can say? People that are not really speaking very well or don't speak at all or a bit introvert, you actually watch them and it can actually be quite emotional for the people that are running the events, because you see those people that are so affected by dementia, word by word they're mouthing or singing, and that's just been an emotional journey for me to watch and to see the changes in those people, albeit it might be for that session, but that session is real, it's current and it's memorable and it's happy. I'm getting emotional now. It does really touch touch them, you know. You have to see it to be part of it and feeling it, really.
I'm Tony Winterton and I work for Home Instead. People who live in dementia sometimes have difficulty actually putting sentences together and talking. But they find when they actually start singing, they remember the words very, very easy and it all floods out. And for well-being, it's extremely important, extremely important. It's a fun group, everybody gets involved, nobody's judged. For everybody involved, it's really good exercise for them.
Because it's such a difficult illness, isn't it, for everybody involved?
It's a crippling disease which you can't do anything about at the moment. When it grips you, and you go down a tunnel. So anything we can do to actually bring a bit of brightness back into people's lives, that's what we want to do.
There are 20 places in the group and people attend from Winchester, Eastleigh and the local villages, but the scheme is being expanded. It's clear everyone is having fun, the smiles showing the power of music. And what difference do you see as they walk out that door?
Big smiles. That's probably the biggest thing that I notice, is everybody is smiling and having fun. People keep coming back, which means it's fun and they're enjoying themselves and it's a benefit for them. Bringing somebody out of the house into a safe environment where that person is going to have a good time, enjoy themselves for an hour or so, it's really important for everybody. You look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle made for two.
Well, the group meets twice a month on a Thursday, and for more information ring 01962 736681. That's 736681. Now for a roundup of some of the stories making the news in the Winchester area this week, here's Steve Walker.
Campaigners from Winchester are heading up to London to take part in the big one, 4 days of action to protest against climate change. More than 200 organisations are taking part in the campaign, with thousands of people expected to join the event, which will be focused around Parliament and Westminster. Last weekend, Extinction Rebellion Winchester hung a large banner on King Alfred's statue to promote the event, which wants action to tackle the climate emergency. The government has cancelled its plans for a smart motorway from Winchester to Southampton. It says it's due to a lack of public confidence amongst drivers and cost pressures. The AA is calling for the government to rethink the entire smart motorway network, including the section at the top of the M3, and wants hard shoulders to be reinstated. Police have carried out an operation to target people who steal from food vendors in Winchester city centre. It follows a growing number of reports of theft from stalls and stores in the high street. Officers say they were able to deter a number of known offenders from committing any crime.
Winchester Radio.
Now it's 20 years ago this month since the Street Pastor scheme was launched in the UK. Street pastors are members of local churches who patrol towns and cities on a Friday and Saturday night to help people who are out and about. In Winchester, the scheme has been running for 12 years, and I spoke to coordinator Mark Hibbert-Hingston. What sort of things might you deal with?
If people are wearing shoes that are killing them by 2 a.m, we give them a pair of flip-flops rather than have them walk home barefoot. We will help people find a taxi to go home. We'll help reunite people with their friends. The street community will often be cold and lonely. We'll have a chat with them and give them a hot drink and a Twix chocolate bar. We're there really for anybody, and we're happy to sit and listen to somebody. We're not trained counsellors, but we hope we're good listeners.
What difference do you think it makes by having a street pastor on the street, or street pastors on the streets of Winchester?
Well, when in our first 6 months, compared to the same 6 months of the previous year, violent crime in Winchester went down 48%. That's quite a statistic, and you can't argue with that. In fact, it went down, being Winchester, from not much to even less. But in some London boroughs, it's gone down by 60 or even 80% on the nights that the street pastors are out in the areas where we patrol. So it's a proven effect. And then, of course, there's the spiritual dimension as well.
And what sort of reaction do you get from people who are out having a night out, and people sleeping homeless? So, what sort of reaction do you get?
Amazingly positive. I can't remember the last time somebody was negative. About the worst you get is somebody at the other side of the street who shouts, "I'm an atheist, leave me alone." And you haven't even seen them. You haven't acknowledged that they're there at all. Sometimes you get groups of people, and one of them will have a bit of a go at you, and one of the others will say, "No, leave them alone. They're street pastors. They're great. We love them." So, it generally a very positive reaction, and there's a very high level of recognition as well, so people know who we are, what we are, and why we're out there.
And the police like having you out there as well?
Yeah, the police and the business community and the council, they're all really keen that we should be there. They were very supportive. And in fact, the reason we are in Winchester is because a police sergeant went and spoke several times to the leader of one of the larger churches and encouraged him to set them up, because he'd seen them in Salisbury and Southampton and even in Chandler's Ford at that stage.
And what do you get out of doing this?
Well, the wonderful thing is everybody wins. The council loves us, the police love us, the people we meet on the streets love us, the bar staff and door staff love us. What do I get out of it? I don't look forward to going out on a cold or wet night, but we always feel that we've made a difference. And by the time we come back in, almost everybody's gone home and we feel like we've put Winchester to bed.
And 20 years nationally it's been ongoing, and 12 years in Winchester. What do you see for the future?
Well, Winchester is a much more peaceful place at night than it was when we started. Much, much more. It's very rare now that we call for an ambulance, where we used to do it several weekends a month. I think there's still a place for it. It'll be interesting to see how the nighttime economy recovers from COVID. It's still recovering, I think. So I see a role for street passers on into the future, although in some areas where clubs have closed and the nighttime economy has gone, they've moved slightly sideways into other things like rail pastors, particularly in some areas. So I think, we keep open, and our trustees are always looking at the future and wondering what next.
And more volunteers needed?
Volunteers are always needed, yes. We train new volunteers twice a year. We give very, very thorough training, around about 40 hours before you're allowed out. And then once you are a street pastor, it's only one patrol a month. So the burden is not too heavy. And while the team's on the streets, there are always two people praying back at base. So no prayers, no patrol. It's as simple as that. That's how important we see prayer in what we do. What I've said is even slightly interesting. Get in touch with me and come out as an observer. But I would warn you, one observation and I think you'll probably be hooked. And you can contact me. My email is winchester@streetpastors, that's all one word, .org.uk.
And now for more news from around Winchester. The Winchester Basics Bank has made a fresh appeal for stock following a busy few months. The charity says it's experienced record demand due to the rising cost of living. It's in need of many items of food, cleaning and toiletry products, and details can be found on the website. Winchester City Football Club has launched a £100,000 community fundraiser to fund a state-of-the-art pitch and community clubhouse. £1 million has already been secured. The club says it would provide a first-rate facility for the men's, ladies, junior and disability teams, as well as creating a space for the community to come together.
I'm Paul Blitz, and it's time for our community shout-out. First of all, we must give a big shout-out to 11-year-old William Gooch, who set himself a mission to visit all the stations of the Hampshire and Isle of Wight Fire and Rescue Service. The youngster is planning to cycle 100 miles and visit 60 stations to raise money for the firefighters' charity. He's taken on the challenge as a thank you because it was a firefighter in a co-responder car who first helped William when he hurt himself whilst playing football, giving him pain relief and reassuring his family before the paramedics arrived. Good luck there, William. And a huge well done to a University of Winchester BMX rider who's competing in this year's World Championships. First year sports psychology student Harriet Alexander has been plagued by back injuries and, despite not being on a bike for more than a month, has been selected for the event in Glasgow in August. The 18-year-old first rode a BMX bike aged 6 years old and was soon winning regional championships. She hopes one day to compete in the Olympics. And a thank you to the Gazelle Squadron display team who flew in a very special visitor to surprise the children staying at Naomi House and Jack's place. The Easter Bunny hopped out of the squadron's helicopter and handed out Easter eggs to everyone visiting the hospices. The children were able to look inside the helicopter and pose for a photo with the Easter Bunny. Every year, the team volunteer their time, bringing cheer and fun to the families using the hospices services.
Winchester Radio.
A brand new festival gets underway on Friday and across the weekend. The Winchester Books Festival is a celebration of reading and creativity. A number of events are taking place, including storytelling and talks by well-known authors. Here's one of the founders, Sian Searles.
Two of my co-founders are in publishing or in book events. They saw that there was a bit of a void within Winchester, which has got such a huge literary tradition in terms of, for starters, Jane Austen and more recently Claire Fuller, living and writing in this area. And there used to be a books festival or a literary festival a little while back, but it had ceased to exist. So they felt that it was really important to be able to bring some of the amazing authors to the Winchester area to share with people that live around here, because there's nothing quite like hearing somebody talking live or experiencing that. So that's why we started it.
And tell me about some of the people who are going to be coming.
Well, we've got a really brilliant lineup. We've got a brilliant artist called Jenny Maisels, who does pop-up books for all sorts of eventualities. And she is going to be doing a session at the Brooks, the Waterstones in the Brooks Centre in Winchester. And families will be designing and building their own pop-up, which will be the London skyline complete with a London eye. We've also got Earl Spencer. He's coming to talk about his book. We've also got Bill Browder, who has written an amazing book called Freezing Order. We've also got people like Jill Hornby, who has written a series of books which feature Jane Austen as a character, fictional character within her book. For anybody that's interested in getting into publishing, we've got a fantastic session which is called How to Get Published, which will be held in Milner Hall, which is right in the centre of Winchester. One of the things that's been very interesting about me being involved with this festival, not having a publishing background, have been the number of people that have come up to us and told us about the books they're writing, the books that they wish they were writing, the people they know that have written books, etc. So there's a very rich and healthy load of people out there wanting to be published or seeking to share details about books that they've got.
Is that one thing you're hoping to do? You're hoping to inspire people to take up writing?
I think it's just a really brilliant opportunity for people to hear from people that are at the top of their game. And I think it's to inspire people to either read more, to share stories, to be able to get out and about and listen to these people in real life. You know, they're all coming here to our beautiful city to talk about what they're passionate about, and that is always inspiring. It touches all sides of your life when you hear somebody talk about what they're really passionate about. So that's exciting.
And you can find out more at winchesterbooksfestival.com. That's it for this week. Many thanks for listening to Winchester Now.